Good day everyone. Welcome to today's discussion on juvenile justice laws. I am Dave Michael Arshaga, student from BS Criminology 3D of Pamantasan ng Lungsod ng Muntinlupa. In this video, we will be comparing two important pieces of legislation that address juvenile delinquency. The Republic Act 9344, also known as the Juvenile Justice and Welfare Act in the Philippines, and the Juvenile Delinquency Prevention Act from the United States. While both laws aim to protect young offenders and guide them toward rehabilitation, they have unique approaches shaped by the socio-political context of each country. Let us first define Republic Act 9344 of the Philippines and Juvenile Delinquency and Prevention Program Act of the United States of America. Republic Act number 9344, also known as the Juvenile Justice and Welfare Act of 2006, is a law in the Philippines that focuses on the protection and rehabilitation of children in conflict with the law, or CICL. The law was created to ensure that children who commit crimes are treated fairly and given opportunities for rehabilitation instead of punishment. While the Juvenile Delinquency and Prevention Program Act refers to a set of laws in the United States designed to address and reduce juvenile delinquency, the term is commonly associated with the Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention Act, or JJDPA, which was first passed in 1974 and later reauthorized in various forms. And now, let us proceed to the similarities between Republic Act 9344 and the Juvenile Justice Delinquency Prevention Act. Number 1. Focus on juvenile rehabilitation. Both laws prioritize the rehabilitation of young offenders rather than focusing on punitive measures. They recognize that juveniles are not fully mature and need support, guidance, and education to help them reintegrate into society. Both laws aim to reduce recidivism by providing alternatives to detention and promoting rehabilitation programs. Number 2. Diversion programs. Both RA 9344 and the JJDPA encourage diversion programs as an alternative to incarceration. These programs focus on community-based solutions such as counseling, education, and restorative justice, rather than placing juvenile in detention facilities. The goal is to prevent juveniles from entering the formal justice system and to provide them with a chance to correct their behavior outside the criminal justice process. Number 3. Protection of juvenile rights. Another similarity is that both acts emphasize the protection of the rights of juveniles. They ensure that young offenders are treated with dignity and respect, guaranteeing that their rights to due process are upheld during legal proceedings. These laws also mandate the separation of juvenile offenders from adult criminals to prevent further harm and promote rehabilitation. And number 4, focus on prevention. Both laws stress the importance of preventing juvenile delinquency before it begins. The JJDPA focuses on identifying and addressing the risk factors that contribute to delinquent behavior, such as family issues or poverty. Similarly, RA 9344 emphasizes community-based efforts such as early intervention and educational programs to prevent juveniles from engaging in criminal activities. And now, let's explore some of the key differences between the Republic Act 9344 and the Juvenile Justice Delinquency Prevention Act. Number 1. Age of criminal responsibility. One of the most notable differences is the age of criminal responsibility. Under RA 9344, the minimum age of criminal responsibility in the Philippines was initially set at 15 years old, though the law was later amended to include provisions lowering the age to 12 in certain circumstances. In contrast, the JJDPA in the US does not specify a national age for criminal responsibility because the US allows individual states to set their own minimum ages, which can vary significantly, often between 16 to 18 years old. Number 2. Treatment of juvenile offenders. While both laws aim to protect juvenile offenders, the approach towards their treatment differs. RA 9344 mandates that the juveniles who are 15 years old and below should not be detained in adult jails and must be given the opportunity for rehabilitation. But it still allows for the detention of those 12 to 15 years old in youth detention facilities under certain circumstances. On the other hand, the JJDPA emphasizes preventing juvenile incarceration, advocating for detention only as a last resort, and seeks to keep juveniles in community programs as much as possible. Number 3. System of Juvenile Justice. The juvenile justice system in the Philippines under RA 9344 places a significant focus on the family and community-based rehabilitation. It sets up Bantay Bata and emphasizes the involvement of social workers and local government units in the rehabilitation process. In contrast, the JJDPA in the US involves a broader range of federal, state, and local law enforcement agencies and often relies on a formal system of juvenile courts that can determine both diversion and detention options. And number 4, role of the family. RA 9344 places a special emphasis on the role of the family in rehabilitation. The law stresses that families should play an active part in the rehabilitation process and includes provisions to support families facing difficulties that may lead to juvenile delinquency. The JJDPA, on the other hand, has a broader focus on community-based prevention with less emphasis on family intervention in comparison to RA 9344. Thank you for watching, and I hope this comparison gives you a clearer understanding of how different countries address the challenges of juvenile delinquency.